Two young boys are leaving church after attending Sunday Mass. Says the one, "Do you believe in the devil?" Says the other, "Nah. Remember what they told us about Santa Claus? I'm sure this devil will also turn out to be Dad." My name is Paul, and I have taken it upon me to talk about religion and superstition in the Philippines in a very light-hearted way, without the intent to offend any people of any religion. Do you enjoy indigenous music, Filipino folk dance and traditional costumes? Then you are all set for the 9th episode of The Expat Files. When we go way back to pre-colonial times, the people of the country that is now known as the Philippines followed a variety of indigenous religions and mythologies. There were also some influences of Hinduism and Buddhism. All of these gradually disappeared with the arrival of the Islam in the 14th century. Things started changing completely when the Portuguese explorer Ferdinand Magellan threw his anchor in 1521. In 1543, Spanish explorer Ruy López de Villalobos named the archipelago Las Islas Filipinas in honor of King Philip II of Spain. The Spanish colonial rule had started. The new rulers of the Philippines didn't only bring things like their language and their fashion, they also imported their religion, which was Roman Catholic. As they stayed in the Philippines for 3.5 centuries, they had ample time to indoctrinate the locals. As a result, some 80% of all Filipinos now belong to the Catholic faith. In 1898, the Filipinos waved out the Spaniards. Hasta la vista, conquistadores. Until 1946, the Philippines would be under the control of the USA, which didn't really facilitate things where religion is concerned. Did you know that there are more than 310 religions and denominations in the USA? Of course, every Joe brought his own religion with him. It may therefore not surprise you that the current list of religions on offer in the Philippines is significantly more elaborate than the menu of Jollibees. Iglesia ni Cristo, around 60 denominations of Protestantism, Seventh-day Adventists, Jehovah's Witnesses, you name it. But the percentages of these religions are mostly expressed in decimals, while Catholicism stands out with some 80%, followed by the Islam with an arguable 6 to 11%. The majority of Muslims live in Mindanao and nearby islands. Religion is very dominant in Filipino society. Many families still adhere to values that we in the West have lost generations ago, such as praying together or saying grace before every meal. Most houses in the Philippines, even those that are hardly worth that name, have a small altar with a statuette of Jesus, Mama Mary, or Señor Santo Niño. That is not just for decoration, but in many families it is used daily for moments of reflection. Also in public life, religion is omnipresent. People cross themselves when passing by a church, whether they are on foot, in a jeepney or in a tricycle. Official meetings, such as a meeting of the city council, start with a prayer. When you attend a sports event, a concert, a beauty pageant, or the likes of that, it will always be opened with the national hymn, followed by a prayer. I remember vividly how I used to take the Supercat between Ormoc and Cebu. While the vessel was leaving the harbour, a big television screen was switched on, and before the main film started, people were invited to join in prayer for a safe journey. Now, don't let this public display of devotion fool you into thinking that all these praying Filipinos are saints. Premarital and extramarital sex are an integral part of their life, as are many other vices that are considered sinful by their own religion. When you go to the Philippines, you will find that religion and culture are really intertwined. Google list of festivals in the Philippines, and you will see an almost endless list of festivals, many of them with a religious background. The list clearly indicates name, date and location, as different cities tend to have different festivals. As a matter of fact, there are so many religious fiestas in the Philippines that it would be impossible to address all of them. Therefore, I have chosen to show you just a small selection. Cebu is famous for its annual Sinulog festival in honor of Santo Niño. The statue of Santo Niño is the oldest Christian artifact in the Philippines and a gift from Ferdinand Magellan. This statue, made of dark wood, is approximately 30 centimeters tall, carved in the Flemish style, and depicts the child Jesus dressed like a Spanish monarch. It is one of the most beloved Filipino icons. The original statue can be viewed from behind bulletproof glass in its own chapel within the Basilica Minore del Santo Niño. An annual dancing feast called Sinulog is held every 16th of January and attracts an incredible crowd of people to Cebu. For the procession, cultural dancers dress up in impressive gowns. The pictures you see now were not taken in Cebu, but in Ormoc, and were made by a local friend of mine who is a professional photographer. Another celebration in honor of Señor Santo Niño is the Pintados Festival in Tacloban. It's a cultural, religious celebration based on the body painting traditions of the ancient tattooed Pintados warriors. This fiesta is always held on the 29th of June. Another festival is the Tubok Festival in Ormoc. held in October to thank God for a bountiful harvest. As you can see, this festival too is typified by cultural dancers in the most beautiful gowns. But the number one religious celebration is Christmas, the day that the Christian world celebrates the birth of Jesus Christ. I can't imagine that there would be a longer Christmas period than in the Philippines, anywhere else on earth. The whole country is decorated for Christmas in September, and those decorations are only removed in February. Yes, you don't have to start counting on your fingers. That is half a year. From September through February, you hear Christmas carols through the loudspeakers of every mall in the Philippines. Filipinos never seem to get tired of listening to Silent Night, White Christmas, and Jingle Bells. If you start a relationship with a Filipina, you have a chance of 4 out of 5 that she is Catholic. But no matter what her religion is, chances are that it is not the same as yours, if you have one, because in the West religion is losing ground very fast. What if you're a convinced atheist and you really cannot be bothered with religion? Well, if you want your relationship with a Filipina to be successful, I strongly suggest that you accommodate her in professing her religion. That doesn't mean that you have to convert to her religion. You believe what you believe, and let her believe what she believes. Don't try to convince her that it is all a fairy tale. Maybe that's what you believe, but to her it is all very real. So make sure that she has the opportunity to attend Mass on Sunday if she so desires. Always show respect for her belief. If she says grace before eating, just wait in silence until she has finished praying before you start eating. These are just tiny little details, but she will really appreciate them. Even if you're a non-believer yourself, try to understand what religion means to those who practice it. It gives them something to hold on to. It offers them comfort when they're going through a rough patch in their life. And most of all, it makes the finiteness of life acceptable to them. My beloved one is not with me anymore, but he is now with God and he is happy there. Or when their own end dooms up at the horizon, I'm sad to go and leave all the ones that I love behind, but I'm going to another place that is so much better than here. If you try to talk them out of these beliefs, they will lose the handles that they have been hanging on to their entire life, and they will hate you for it. Believe me, you won't do a religious person a favor by converting them to atheism, and in most cases, their love for God will be stronger than their love for you. So be forewarned. So now we have established that most Filipinos are religious. But then, where does superstition fit in? Atheists will claim that they are both the same because there is no scientific proof of either of them. There is an abundance of superstitions in the Philippines, and most Filipinos believe in them over and above the religion they profess. Many of these superstitions stem from their pre-colonial beliefs. They believe in white ladies, elves, ghosts, etc. I'm not going to elaborate on the subject. I would like to refer those who are interested in finding out more about superstition in the Philippines to the YouTube channel of the Filipina P. She did 2 very interesting videos on the subject. I will end this video with a very funny but true story that happened when I was still married to a Filipina. But before I do, I want to thank everyone for watching this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. If you want to comment on the subject of religion or superstition, you can do so in the comment section below, but please do it with the same respect for people with different beliefs as I did when making this video. And if you subscribe to my channel, I will pray for your health to the supreme creature of your choice. My ex-wife and I were in Belgium when this happened. A cousin of my then father-in-law had a serious motorbike accident while in Ormoc and was taken to a hospital there. His sister came over to Ormoc to stay by his side, as is common practice in the Philippines. Hospitalization costs a lot of money, and that is a commodity that Filipinos are often short of. So she asked directions to find our house in order to ask my father-in-law for help. He immediately declined and said he couldn't help them because he didn't have any money to spare either. Shortly after that, a butterfly flew into our house and sat down on Dad's shoulder. He chased it away, but it kept coming back. In his perception, that butterfly was the spirit of his mother, who was angry with him for refusing to help his cousin. When the butterfly sat down on his shoulder again, he said, "Okay, Ma, I will help them." After that, the butterfly flew out the door, never to come back again. Do I believe that this butterfly was Grandma? Not in a million years. But what I believe is totally irrelevant. My father-in-law believed it, and that's what counts, because if that butterfly had not landed on his shoulder, he would never have helped his cousin. This story leads me to conclude that it doesn't matter if the things you believe in are true. If you believe them to be true, even superstition can make you a better person. Peace be with you. See you next time.